I feel so unsure as I take your hand and lead you to the dance floor. I'm never gonna dance again. Guilty feet have got no rhythm. Oh, it's easy to pretend. I know you're not a fool. Should've known better than to cheat a friend, to waste a chance that I've been given. Oh, I'm never gonna dance again the way I dance with you. Boy, that George Michael sure can sing high. Careless Whisper. Careless Whisper by George Michael. Great song, very, very simple, 4 chords only, lovely chords, and a really nice melody that we can actually play over the top of it on one guitar if we use a capo. So what we're going to do, the original chords for this song are D minor, G minor, or minor 7, and then a B flat major 7, and A minor 7 or A minor. But putting our capo on the 5th fret makes those chords really simple open chord shapes, but the important thing that it does is it gives us some open string bass notes that we can use to play this melody over, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So download your chart and let's get into it. The chords with the capo on the 5th fret are A minor, D minor 7, then F major 7, and then E minor. The rhythm I'll get to in just a moment, but this is how we step through the melody. The high note that the melody starts on is up here. It's the 12th fret E string. With a capo on, I guess it would be tabbed as the 7th fret because your capo's on the 5th fret. Anyway, the tab that you'll see is measured from the capo, as it always should be. So this will be written as the 7th fret. So we go, and I like to rake through this first chord because that gives you these other 2 notes here. If you played an A minor bar chord up here on what would be the 5th fret, you still get these 3 top notes on the 5th fret on the high G, B and E strings. So you can actually play the bass note, the open A string, with your thumb, and then what I do is I put all 3 fingers on these 3 top strings, and without actually individually moving the fingers so much, I just kind of roll off those strings like that. So it's kind of, it is what it is. You can see what I'm doing. I don't need to find a fancy word for it. But if you add that 3rd finger onto your 7th fret, you get a really nice voicing to start this melody with. And the melody goes, so you lift that finger off the 7 and your finger here is covering the 5th fret on all 3 strings. So it's like this. And you can pick with one finger here, and obviously if you're doing a pick, it's hard because you've got to do the open A string and at least 1 note there. So it's kind of a job for fingers, or thumb and fingers. And I like to use all 3 fingers on those strings, not only for that kind of rake up through the chord, but to come back down through those notes. So again. Exactly the same twice. Come down to your D minor 7 now. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to use our 3rd finger to add the note on the 3rd fret E string. And you can rake again, or you don't need to rake. You can just go playing the bass open D string with your thumb and starting that next bit of melody on the 3rd fret E string. But the D minor 7 chord shape is what you lift off to. And again, don't do the last note the 2nd time round there. Then we do an F major 7, but we start with a normal F major. So that very first note is on the 1st fret E string. As soon as you do that, you want to stand up that 1st finger so you can play that open E string. You go. Now there's a couple of ways to do this. You can just roll that finger up onto its tip, or you can do what I just did then, which is you lift that finger right off and then put it back down on the B string on its tip. Either way, work out what works best for you. Then the last chord we move through, the E minor. What I like to do is start with the open E string with your thumb, and then 2nd fret D string, which is another E note, as you build that melody up. And what's really nice here is if you can let all these notes, including that open E string, ring on for as much as possible. So it sounds like this. And then you're back to the start. And there's your melody. And then when you start in for the chords, what we're doing, we're playing the same 4 chords over and over and over again. Verse, chorus, doesn't matter. And the strumming pattern that I did at the start there, it's kind of, you know, what's really nice about this song as well, which nobody talks about, is the groove. If you listen to what the bass is doing in this, it's a very groovy bass line, and the feel of this song kind of lends itself to this sort of strumming, I find. Now what I'm doing there, the key is this 1E and a 2E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E. So this, but what I'm doing is 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4 and 1E. I feel so unsure as I take your hand and lead you to the dance floor. Not the right melody, but that's the key to getting those chords through. 1E and a 2E and a 1E and a 2E, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E. So 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E, 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4. You can put that extra little strum in there, but you don't really need it. Feel it, feel that rhythm. You don't have to follow this exactly strum for strum, but if you can get something along those lines of that groove, it'll sound good. And you might need to find a slightly different groove in order to feel comfortable singing it, if that's what you're doing. But if that's all you did, as a tape, that's a lovely rhythm. And that's just a little riff at the end, which I won't tab out, but it does this, which you hear at the end. It's kind of like one of those little hooks that sticks in your head. If you want to do it, it's really just a hammering descent through the pentatonic minor scale in the key of E minor. That's all there is to it. Great song, simple song, lovely to play the melody over. I hope you enjoyed that lesson, and let me know if you have any issues or problems, compliments, insults, comments, anything at all. Get in touch with me. I like to hear from people, and we'll see you here for the next lesson.